For 3 years, Krelks chased whispers, buried signals, ancient ruins, rumors of lost tech. He expected broken circuits and dust. What he found was Thomas, a living human, a loaded weapon, and a warning. The last secret of Earth wasn't dead. It was waiting. Through his environmental suit's filters came the mineral-laden atmosphere of the abandoned mining complex. The asteroid's surface bore countless pocks and scars from ancient mining operations. Automated processing units jutted from the regolith, where centuries of cosmic radiation and micrometeorite impacts had carved deep patterns into their metal shells. A series of quick beeps emerged from his scanner as it picked up traces of the relic. After 3 years of searching, the signal grew stronger with each step. Valen Threx checked his suit's oxygen levels, sufficient for another 6 hours of exploration, more than enough time to locate his prize and return to the ship. Proximity alert. His ship's AI reported through his neural link. Target appears to be within 200 meters. Local structures show signs of instability. The warning made Valen Threx pause. His eyes swept across the desolate landscape as probability calculations ran through his mind. No one had maintained this facility for centuries. The structural integrity of every tunnel and support beam would have degraded significantly. One wrong step could trigger a cascade of collapsing metal and stone. Run a full structure analysis of the surrounding area, he instructed the AI. Map the safest approach vector. Blue lines appeared in his visual feed as the AI projected the optimal path forward. The route wound between massive processing machines. Their shadows stretched long and dark under the distant sun. Each step raised small clouds of metallic dust that settled on his suit's exterior sensors. Sunlight caught the edge of something different among the ruins, a metallic surface that didn't match the degraded mining equipment. The object's clean lines stood out against the chaos of abandoned machinery. Valen Threx approached the anomaly with measured steps. Under the coating of dust, his 4-fingered hand found evidence of recent maintenance. The wear patterns suggest regular upkeep, he said to himself while studying the device's housing. These tool markings couldn't be more than a few months old. The discovery made no sense. This facility appeared on no modern star charts. The consortium of archivists had declared it stripped of all valuable relics decades ago. Yet here stood proof of recent activity, and the craftsmanship bore hallmarks of technologies lost to time. A new alert tone cut through his observations, one he had only heard in training simulations. Every muscle in Valen Threx's body went rigid as his sensory tentacles absorbed the implications. Only one substance in the known galaxy could trigger that specific frequency. His suit's external sensors extended automatically, seeking confirmation of the impossible reading. Chemical analysis confirms traces of human blood, the AI announced. Age, approximately 2 standard months. Composition matches historical records with 99.9% accuracy. The oxygen mix in Valen Threx's suit adjusted automatically as his breathing became erratic. His mind refused to accept the data. The last verified human blood sample had surfaced over 300 years ago, when a single drop had commanded a price equal to a small moon. Numbers beyond comprehension filled his thoughts as he calculated the potential value before him. The consortium would erupt in chaos at even the suggestion of fresh human blood. The movement alert flashed across Valen Threx's sensor display. Near a pile of mining debris, something had triggered readings that did not match common xenobiological parameters. Each data point contradicted centuries of established research. An ancient weapon barrel protruded from behind a fallen support beam. The metal surface reflected recent care despite its age. Heat signatures from its targeting system set his suit's sensors screaming. "Don't move another step," echoed a voice from behind the weapon. Valen Threx registered the sound pattern with disbelief, a perfect match to historical records of human speech. His secondary heart almost failed as a figure in an environmental suit emerged from behind the debris. The suit's design spoke of human aesthetics, clean lines, and practical efficiency that modern manufacturers still attempted to copy without success. "You're a human," Valen Threx whispered through translation crystals that blazed in his throat. "And you're where you don't belong," the human said with the weapon fixed on Valen Threx's center mass. "This zone has been restricted for the past 1,000 years." In Valen Threx's mind, survival instincts clashed against the archivist's fervor. "My name is Valen Threx," he said, as he lifted his hands clear of his tools. "The consortium of archivists sent me to retrieve an relic. The energy signature let me here. That signature came from exactly where we wanted you to be led," the human said, as he took 2 steps into the light. The distant sun revealed his suit's condition, repairs and scuffs that indicated regular use rather than abandonment. "We maintain it specifically to attract attention. Better to catch potential threats out here than risk one making it closer. But you don't seem like a raider." The revelation hit Valen Threx like a meteor strike. 3 years of research and countless resources had led him straight into a trap. Yet the human's words hinted at an even greater discovery. More of his kind must exist nearby. Such knowledge would exceed any archivist's most extravagant dreams. "My name is Gavin Rourke," the human said as his weapon dipped slightly but remained ready. "And you need to make a choice about what happens next." The threat beneath those words yanked Valen Threx back from visions of untold wealth. While modern weapons could reduce a target to scattered atoms, this ancient projectile weapon promised a much messier death. "What kind of choice?" Valen Threx asked through his struggling translator. "The kind that determines whether you leave this asteroid with knowledge worth more than most solar systems," Gavin Rourke said as he advanced another step. "Or not at all." "Follow me," Gavin Rourke said as he gestured with the weapon's barrel. "And keep your hands where I can see them." Valen Threx matched his pace to Gavin Rourke's backward steps. The path led them between towering heaps of discarded mining equipment. Each machine bore centuries of cosmic radiation damage, yet subtle signs indicated regular passage through their midst. "Your suit's communications are blocked," Gavin Rourke said while they walked. "Has been since you landed." "Standard protocol." The revelation sent Valen Threx's hand instinctively to his neural link. Where the connection to his ship should have existed, he found only static. "My ship will stay exactly where it is," Gavin Rourke said as they rounded a particularly large processing unit. "We've locked down its systems remotely. Insurance against uninvited guests." A massive airlock door stood embedded in the asteroid's surface. The metal surface bore no resemblance to the mining facility's architecture. This structure came from Earth itself. Ancient symbols stretched across its surface in patterns Valen Threx had seen only in museums. "Stand still," Gavin Rourke ordered while he placed his palm against a scanner. The decontamination sequence takes about 30 seconds. The airlock cycled open. Clean air rushed past them as pressure equalized. Inside, bright lights illuminated a chamber constructed with technology centuries ahead of the mining facility. "You can remove your suit now," Gavin Rourke said after the inner door sealed behind them. "Our atmosphere matches standard galactic norms." The air tasted purer as Valen Threx retracted his suit's helmet. His sensory tentacles detected none of the industrial chemicals common to space habitats. Even the environmental processors must be advanced far beyond modern tech. Every new detail made even his AI's earlier estimate of 99.97 seem like an underestimation. "How many of you are there?" Valenthrex asked while his suit folded itself into storage configuration. "Enough," Gavin Rourke said as he secured his weapon to a wall rack. "You'll meet some of them soon. The Council wants to speak with you." They proceeded through curved corridors. The architecture followed human aesthetic principles, form-serving function without unnecessary ornament. Behind the walls, Valenthrex's acute hearing detected the hum of power systems unlike anything in modern use. "These systems," Valenthrex said as another doorway opened before them, "their original Earth technology." "Most of them?" Gavin Rourke led them into what appeared to be a monitoring station. "We maintain what we brought with us. Can't exactly order replacement parts." Screens displayed information about the asteroid facility and surrounding space. Here, as with everything else, the level of detail surpassed any modern sensor network Valenthrex had encountered. Astonishing. It was as if Valenthrex had stepped through a portal in time, right back to the human age. The monitoring station's door slid open. 3 more humans entered, each dressed in simple garments that bore subtle variations in style and color. Their faces showed none of the cosmetic modifications common to modern species, pure genetic heritage preserved across centuries. "The Council will see you now," one of them said to Gavin Rourke. "This way," Gavin Rourke said to Valenthrex as he stepped toward another doorway. The Council chamber stretched upward through multiple levels of the asteroid. Curved walls supported seats arranged in concentric circles. In the center, a raised platform held a single chair, clearly meant for visitors. "Please sit," an elderly human said from the nearest tier of seats. The chair adjusted to Valenthrex's physiology as he settled into it. Around him, humans filled perhaps a third of the available seats. The empty spaces spoke volumes about population numbers. "I am Administrator Nyen," the elderly human said while he studied a data tablet. "Your credentials as an archivist appear legitimate, though your methods of tracking our lure proved unusually persistent. The consortium rewards thoroughness," Valenthrex said, as his translator adjusted to multiple human voices. "Indeed," Administrator Nyen set the table aside. "You understand our situation requires absolute secrecy. The value of human blood alone makes us a target," Gavin Rourke said from his position near the door. "Which leaves us with a problem." Administrator Nyen leaned forward in his seat. "Your knowledge of our existence, the temptation to profit from it, must be substantial." Valenthrex's financial cortex ran automatic calculations. The numbers exceeded his translator's capacity for zeros. "I propose an alternative arrangement," Valenthrex said while he pushed the calculations aside. "One beneficial to all parties. We don't trade in blood," Gavin Rourke said with an edge to his voice. "But you must trade in something." Valenthrex turned to face the assembled humans. "This facility requires resources, raw materials. My credentials grant me access to supply chains across the galaxy." A murmur rippled through the assembled humans. Administrator Nyson raised his hand for silence. "You offer to become our supplier," Administrator Nyen said as his eyes narrowed. "In exchange for what?" "Access to your historical sanctums," Valenthrex said, while he chose his words with care. "Knowledge often holds more value than mere biological samples. The consortium would pay fortunes for accurate records of human civilization." Administrator Nyeson's eyes remained narrowed. but one hand does rise to his chin, and if we refuse, then I accept whatever security measures you deem necessary. Valenthrex spread his hands. My life's work involves preserving history, not destroying it. I won't risk the extinction of a legendary species for mere profit. The council chamber fell silent. Humans exchanged glances that seemed to carry volumes of unspoken meaning. We will consider your proposal, Administrator Nien said after a long moment. Until then, you will remain under observation. Gavin Rourke will show you to temporary quarters. As they left the chamber, Valenthrex's acute hearing caught fragments of urgent discussion behind them. The humans had to know he could provide far more than simple supplies. The real question was what they might offer in return, and what secrets they still kept hidden. Days in the human habitat passed with methodical precision. From his assigned quarters, Valenthrex observed patterns of life unchanged by centuries of galactic progress. The community operated on cycles matched to Earth's ancient rhythms, hours, days, and weeks, preserved like living relics. Through the transparent panels of his quarters, he watched the inhabitants go about tasks that seemed simultaneously archaic and sophisticated. Children learned from actual books printed on paper, while adults maintained technology far beyond modern understanding. The mix of old and new challenged every assumption historians had made about human civilization. A group passed his window carrying baskets of hydroponically grown food. The vegetables came from original Earth stock, species thought extinct for centuries. His botanical analysis programs calculated the value of a single viable seed from these preserved strains. The numbers, though not quite as ridiculous as the value of the humans themselves, was enough to push his already strained financial cortex and give him quite the headache. The door slid open. Gavin Rourke stood in the entrance. "The council requests your presence," Gavin Rourke said as he stepped aside to let Valenthrex through. The corridors held more activity than during his first visit. Humans went about their daily tasks with practiced efficiency. Each face turned to watch him pass, their expressions guarded, but not hostile. Some carried tools of obvious Earth manufacture. Others worked with hybrid devices that combined ancient human innovation with modern materials. A pair of technicians paused them, deepened discussion about power grid maintenance. Their casual mention of technological principles considered theoretical by modern science made Valenthrex's scientific cortex fire rapid requests for recording permission. Combined with his financial headache, Valenthrex was almost nauseous. Thankfully, his medicinal gland activated and administered an anti-nausea hormone that calmed his nerves. "Your people maintain impressive discipline," Valenthrex said while they walked. "Discipline keeps us alive," Gavin Rourke said as they approached the council chamber. "Habits preserve security." The massive doors opened to reveal Administrator Nien with a smaller group than before. The reduced numbers suggested a less formal meeting, though the gravity in their expressions spoke of serious deliberation. "Please sit," Administrator Nien said when they reached the central platform. "We've reviewed your proposal." Valenthrex settled into the visitor's chair. The humans above him carried tablets filled with data he would trade systems to examine. Each screen displayed information that could revolutionize multiple fields of modern science. "Your credentials prove extensive," Administrator Nien said as he activated a display screen. "The consortium holds you in high regard. Your trading history shows both discretion and reliability. I've earned their trust," Valenthrex said, while the screen displayed his trading history across 17 star systems. "My reputation depends on confidentiality, which makes you dangerous," Gavin Rourke said from his position by the door. "The better you are at keeping secrets, the more valuable those secrets become. Or valuable as an ally, Administrator Nguyen touched another control. Your supply network could solve several logistics challenges we face, but trust requires demonstration. The screen shifted to show a list of materials, common items any archivist could acquire through standard channels. The mundane nature of the requests seemed almost insulting until Valenthrex's analysis subroutines detected the pattern. Each item, while ordinary alone, could serve multiple functions in the right combinations. A test run, Valenthrex said as he studied the list with growing appreciation for its subtle complexity. Prove you can supply these items without drawing attention, Administrator Nguyen said while the list scrolled past. Then we'll discuss greater cooperation. The list's seeming mundanity was deliberate. Construction materials, basic electronics, water purification components, nothing that would raise suspicions. Yet the quantities and specifications suggested sophisticated applications far beyond their apparent purposes. I could have everything delivered within 2 standard weeks, Valenthrex said after his financial cortex completed its calculations, through entirely separate supply chains to avoid pattern recognition. To these coordinates, Administrator Nguyen transmitted a set of numbers to Valenthrex's neural link. A dead drop facility we maintain. No direct contact. The coordinates lie in an asteroid belt near the Cygnus trade route, Administrator Nguyen said as the star map extended between them. Our facility monitors all approach vectors. A schematic appeared on the display. The dead drop station blended perfectly with surrounding asteroids, its power signature masked by natural mineral deposits. Decades of cosmic radiation had weathered the outer hull to match the surrounding rocks. Ancient defense systems lay dormant beneath the surface, ready to activate at the first sign of unauthorized contact. Your ship will receive automated docking instructions, Gavin Rourke said from his post. Deviation from the specified flight path will trigger defensive measures. The implied threat needed no elaboration. Valenthrex studied the approach vectors with professional interest. The route threaded between gravitational fields that would mask any traces of his passage. Each waypoint utilized natural phenomena to disguise ship emissions. The path incorporated stellar debris fields and magnetic anomalies that would scramble standard tracking systems. An elegant solution, Valenthrex said, as the display highlighted key navigational markers. We've had centuries to perfect our methods. Administrator Nguyen touched another control. The first delivery will proceed in 3 phases. Success will determine our future relationship. The screen displayed a complex series of dead drops and transfers. Each stage would further obscure the material's final destination. The sequence incorporated random delays and multiple decoy shipments to confound pattern analysis. Supply manifests would show mundane cargo bound for unremarkable colonies. A fair test, Valenthrex said while his logistics cortex mapped the sequence. Though my services could extend beyond simple supply runs. You mean information brokering, Gavin Rourke said with an edge in his voice. The consortium's sanctums contain gaps in human historical records. Valenthrex turned toward Administrator Nguyen. Gaps your people could fill. The exchange of knowledge benefits everyone. Think of the technological advances alone. Knowledge becomes weapons in the wrong hands. Administrator Nguyen set his tablet down. Our ancestors learned that lesson too late. The fall of Earth proved it true. Every piece of human innovation became a tool for destruction, yet you preserve their knowledge. Valenthrex indicated the technological marvels around him. Imagine what humanity could contribute to galactic civilization. The medical applications of your biological sciences, The engineering principles in your power systems, the philosophical insights from your libraries, we already know. Gavin Rourke stepped forward. That's why we stay hidden. Every advancement has a price. Some costs run too high. The galaxy remembers Earth's fall, but not why it fell. They hunt our traces even now. The Council will determine the extent of any information exchange. Administrator Nien's tone carried finality. For now, focus on the supply contract. Prove yourself with simple tasks before asking for greater trust. Each step builds upon the last. A soft alert tone echoed through the chamber. One of Administrator Nien's displays flashed with urgent data. The security network had detected new energy signatures at the system's edge. Ancient defense satellites tracked the incoming vessel's trajectory. Another collection vessel has entered the system, Gavin Rourke said as he checked his own readouts. Following your original flight path, they've already passed the outer sensor perimeter. Their scan patterns match consortium protocols. The consortium often sends multiple agents. Valen Threx accessed his neural link. Standard procedure for high-value acquisitions. The energy signature would have attracted sufficient attention. My departure likely triggered automated notifications. Can they track you here? Administrator Nien demanded. No, Valen Threx said as he reviewed his ship's status. But they'll detect the relic's energy signature. The lure will draw them to the mining facility just as it did me. My ship's traces will lead them straight to it, and they'll find me missing. Standard consortium procedure would be to investigate further. Then we'll handle them like any other intruders, Gavin Rourke said while he retrieved his weapon. Wait. Valen Threx rose from his chair. I know nearly every archivist in the consortium. Let me contact him. A warning from a senior consortium member will carry more weight than a defensive response. The consortium respects territory claims between members. One message could prevent unnecessary complications. The humans exchanged glances heavy with unspoken communication. Their expressions betrayed centuries of ingrained caution. Generations of secrecy weighed against practical necessity. Your neural link remains blocked, Administrator Nien said after a moment. You'll send the message from a secure terminal, under supervision. One mistake, one wrong word, and Gavin Rourke will end the transmission, permanently. The secure communications room sat deep within the asteroid. Banks of ancient Earth computers lined the walls, their displays showing real-time analysis of every transmission in the system. Quantum processors far beyond modern understanding sifted through astronomical amounts of data, searching for any hint of discovery or intrusion. The technology in this single room could revolutionize a dozen fields of computer science. Your colleague's ship maintains its approach vector, Gavin Rourke said as he checked the sensor feed. No deviation from standard consortium search patterns. The scan frequencies match your own from 3 days ago. The similarity suggests shared search protocols. Maxley follows procedures to the letter, Krelk said, while the communication system warmed up. A direct warning will suffice. The ancient terminal accepted his access codes with speed that put modern systems to shame. Texts scrolled across the screen in consortium standard format. Each character underwent multiple layers of encryption. The message itself stuck to established protocols. A simple claim of salvage rights backed by his consortium authority. The standardized format would trigger automatic recognition in any consortium vessel's communications system. Sending now, Krelk said as he transmitted the message. A simple, territorial claim. Standard consortium protocols will force him to acknowledge and withdraw. No consortium member violates another's claim without direct council approval. The penalties would end his career. The screen erupted in emergency alerts. Every sensor in the room activated at once. Warning signals pulsed through frequencies Krelk had never encountered in his centuries of collecting. The very air seemed to vibrate with power from deep within the asteroid. Energy spike from the mining complex. Gavin Rourke snapped as he brought up tactical displays. The relic's signature just increased by orders of magnitude. These readings exceed anything in our defensive projections. The power curve suggests geometric progression. Impossible, Krelk said, while data screamed across the screens. The lure never showed power readings at that level. No known technology could mask energy signatures of this magnitude. Even theoretical models suggest such power should be detectable across light years. Because it wasn't the lure. Administrator Nian's voice came through the intercom with unmistakable urgency. Report to the council chamber immediately. Both of you. The situation has escalated beyond standard containment protocols. Full defensive measures are now active. They found Administrator Nian waiting with a full assembly of council members. The chamber's main display showed a three-dimensional map of the mining facility. At its center, a massive energy signature pulsed with impossible readings. The scale of power output defied modern physics. Each pulse sent cascading waves of energy through subspace. The sanctum has activated, Administrator Nian said as streams of data filled the air. Your colleagues' scan patterns triggered dormant systems. The automatic defenses read the frequencies as an attempt at forced access. Ancient protocols have initiated emergency procedures. Sanctum. Krelk stared at the readings that scrolled past in endless streams. That signature exceeds anything in consortium records. The energy output alone could power a small star system. Because its existence predates your consortium, Gavin Rourke said from behind him. By several thousand years, what you see represents only a fraction of its full capacity. The true scope of its contents would reshape galactic civilization. Their facility, you found, wasn't a mining complex. That was just its disguise. Administrator Nian brought up historical schematics that made Krelk's research cortex burn with recognition. It served as a waypoint, a storage site for knowledge too dangerous for anyone's civilization to possess. The combined technological achievements of 100 fallen species. The display shifted to reveal layer upon layer of technological schematics. Each section contained advancements that would revolutionize entire fields of science. Batteries that could power planets without recharging. Medical technologies that promised near immortality. Weapons that were capable of destroying star systems with a single command. Our ancestors discovered this sanctum during Earth's first expansion into space. Administrator Nian said as an ancient text scrolled past the screens. Its existence shaped every decision that followed. The responsibility changed us as a species. These energy readings will attract attention across 12 systems. Gavin Rourke checked tactical displays that showed expanding waves of subspace distortion. The consortium won't be our only visitors. Every major power will detect this activation. The sanctum must have fail-safes. Krelk studied the pulsing power signatures with growing concern. Ways to mask its presence. The fail-safes activated when your colleagues' scans matched certain frequencies. Administrator Nian brought up more detailed readings. Ancient defense protocols interpreted them as an attack. The sanctum now prepares to defend itself. New schematics appeared on the central display. Weapons platforms emerged from the asteroid's surface as if they'd been there all along. Defense screens flickered into existence around the facility, projected by unseen mechanisms. devices of unusual construction that Krelk did not recognize, and feared all the more, likewise appeared as if out of thin air. "Your colleague will die if he maintains his approach," Gavin Rourke said while weapon systems charged to full power. "The Sanctum's defensive responses operate on their own protocols. We can't override them. The Consortium will send reinforcements if they lose contact." Krelk assessed tactical projections through his neural link. Standard procedure demands investigation of lost archivist vessels. The energy readings will draw every available ship, which leaves us 3 options. Administrator Nyen manipulated the display to show tactical projections. We can evacuate and abandon the Sanctum to whoever claims it first. We can attempt to fight off every power in the sector with technology we barely understand. Or what? Krelks asked, as the tactical display showed more ships entering the system. "We can shut it down permanently," Gavin Rourke said with grim finality. "Destroy the Sanctum, rather than let its knowledge spread. The fail-safe protocols include that option." The implications staggered Krelks. Thousands of years of technological advancement, the combined knowledge of countless civilizations, all of it erased just to prevent its misuse. There might be another way. Krelks studied the power readings more carefully. The Sanctum has shown that it responds to specific scan frequencies. If we could transmit the correct patterns, the risk exceeds acceptable parameters. Administrator Nyen shook his head as more warning signals filled the displays. One mistake triggers greater defensive responses. The Sanctum contains too many dangerous protocols. "Let me contact Draven Korik again," Krelks proposed while his tactical cortex analyzed approach vectors. Not through Consortium channels, a direct warning about the defensive systems. He'll withdraw rather than risk his ship. And the other vessels approaching the system? Gavin Rourke indicated long-range scans, showing multiple ships altering course toward their location. The energy signature draws more attention with each passing moment. The Consortium maintains considerable influence. Krelks accessed his neural link's diplomatic protocols, a formal advisory declaring this sector, restricted under archivist authority, would deter most investigations. Combined with the Sanctum's defensive capabilities, we've already established how difficult it is to trust you. And now you ask us to trust the Consortium with knowledge of our existence. Administrator Nyen's tone carried centuries of ingrained caution. "I suggest we trust them with a fraction of the truth." Krelks brought up Consortium legal protocols. The energy readings come from an ancient defense system of unknown origin. It is not unprecedented for the Consortium to use its authority to maintain the secrecy of such sites for the benefit of the archivists that discovered them. Though this site, of course, far exceeds any other in value, they don't have to know that. The council chamber fell silent as danger played across tactical displays. More ships appeared at the system's edge. Time grew short for any solution. My job is to keep tabs on the outside, to make sure hints of us aren't circulating. I can confirm that the Consortium's authority does carry significant weight. Gavin Rourke admitted as he studied approach vectors. Most powers respect archivist territory claims. Even military vessels avoid direct confrontation. What of those who don't respect Consortium authority? Administrator Nyen asked while defensive systems tracked incoming vessels. They will face the Sanctum's defenses. Krelks indicated the weapons platforms emerging from the asteroid's surface. The Consortium's diplomatic influence combined with demonstrated military power creates a strong deterrent. My reputation adds credibility to the restriction. Administrator Nyen studied the tactical displays for long moments. The Sanctum's power signature continued to pulse through subspace, drawing more attention with each wave of energy. Make the call, Administrator Nien decided as defense screens solidified around the facility. But understand this: if your plan fails, we will destroy the sanctum. Humanity's greatest discovery will be its final secret. Krelks nodded as he accessed the secure communications terminal. The fate of thousands of years of knowledge rested on his ability to turn the consortium's bureaucracy into a shield. One mistake would erase advances that could reshape civilization. The terminal accepted his codes as he began composing the advisory. Through the displays, he watched Draven Korik's ship draw closer to the sanctum's defensive perimeter. The next few minutes would determine whether humanity's greatest secret remained safe or destroyed itself to prevent discovery. Text poured across the communications display as Krelks crafted the consortium advisory. Each word required careful consideration. Too much detail would spark curiosity. Too little would fail to deter investigation. Through auxiliary screens, he watched Draven Korik's ship reduce speed as the first signals reached its communications array. "He's changing course," Gavin Rourke said from his tactical station. "I'm picking up active scans. He's analyzing our warning broadcasts. He has to verify the claim." Krelks adjusted the encryption protocols on his transmission. "Once the consortium database confirms my authority, he'll have no choice but to follow protocol." More ships appeared at the system's edge. Transport vessels, research craft, even military scouts, drawn by the Sanctum's energy signature. The power readings defied conventional physics. A beacon to every sensor array within 12 light years. "We've got multiple ships incoming." Gavin Rourke brought up enhanced tactical projections. "I count 6 different civilizations based on engine configurations, and these power readings from the Sanctum keep spiking every time they scan us." "Incoming message from Draven Korik," Administrator Nien said as new data scrolled across the screens. "He's challenging my authority." Krelks scanned the message contents. "I need to provide detailed justification for restricting an entire sector. Standard consortium procedure. Those defense systems are still hot," Gavin Rourke warned, while weapon systems tracked approaching vessels. "If any of these ships cross the perimeter, the Sanctum will respond automatically." Krelks accessed deeper levels of consortium protocols. The bureaucratic structures he had navigated for centuries could become a shield if applied correctly. His response began to take shape on the screen. "Under consortium law, this claim takes priority," Krelks explained as he composed the message. "Once we classify this as restricted technology, I can demand immediate quarantine. These energy readings alone prove restricted status." 3 more groups of ships just changed course toward us. Gavin Rourke updated the tactical display. "I'm reading capital ships, military vessels. They must have detected the power signature. We're running out of time," Administrator Nien said as defense screens solidified around the facility. "If this doesn't work, we'll have to take action." The Sanctum's power signature pulsed stronger. Each energy wave carried impossible readings across space, a signal no advanced civilization could ignore. The greatest technological discovery in history now threatened to destroy itself. "Message sent," Krelks said as he transmitted the enhanced warning. "Now we need official acknowledgement before." "They're accelerating," Gavin Rourke cut in as tactical alerts filled the screens. "Those military vessels aren't stopping. They're powering up weapons. The Sanctum sees them as hostile." Administrator Nien indicated new energy patterns emerging from the facility. The odd defense protocols are kicking in. Weapon platforms rose from the asteroid surface. Technologies lost to time, prepared to defend knowledge too dangerous to share. The sanctum itself seemed to pulse with deadly purpose. At least Mex is backing off, Krelks noted with relief, as familiar engine signatures appeared on tactical displays. That should validate our restriction claim. The consortium protocols are working, not on the military ships, Gavin Rourke said while defense screens tracked multiple targets. We have 3 minutes before they're in firing range. Maybe they need to see what they're dealing with. Administrator Nyan touched controls that enhanced power to the sanctum's defensive grid. Words aren't enough anymore. Ancient weapon systems activated. Energy readings exceeded anything in modern military databases. The approaching ships faced power so beyond their comprehension, they had no hope of truly knowing it. Like a ship without any form of gravimetric detection stumbling into a black hole, they can see the light that emits from the matter around it. But by the time they are past the point of no return, it is too late. I'm sending one last warning. Krelks transmitted the final notification required by consortium law. They're violating multiple treaties now, the consortium's authority. Weapons fire erupted from the lead military vessel. Energy beams meant to crack planetary crusts struck the sanctum's defensive screens. The shields absorbed the attack without visible effort. We can't stop it now, Administrator Nyen said as automated defense systems targeted the attacking ships. The sanctum sees this as an act of war. Whatever happens next is out of our hands. Ancient weapons lashed out from the asteroid's surface. Beams of impossible energy carved through space toward the attacking vessels, warping the very fabric of reality with their passing. The military ship's shields, designed to withstand modern weapons, offered no resistance against such ancient power. Direct hits on 3 vessels, Gavin Rourke said as damage reports flooded the tactical displays. The sanctum's weapons went through them like they didn't exist. The surviving ships broke formation, scattering in panic. Their sensors had never registered weapons with such devastating power. Modern shield technology proved worthless against forgotten principles of physics. More ships approaching from the outer system, Administrator Nyen said while studying long-range scans. Word of this battle will spread quickly. Every power in the sector will want this technology. Then we need to end this now. Valenthrex accessed the consortium's emergency broadcast frequencies. Before this escalates beyond control, the sanctum's defense systems targeted more vessels. Each shot demonstrated power that would reshape the balance of galactic civilization. This place of eons would destroy any who would dare to steal it. Broadcasting on all frequencies, Valenthrex announced as he activated the transmission. This is Senior Archivist Valenthrex. By authority of Consortium Protocol 7, I declare this entire sector restricted under Archivist sovereignty. The defense systems you witness enforce this restriction. Any vessel remaining in this sector after this warning will be classified as hostile and destroyed. 2 groups altered course, Gavin Rourke reported while tracking engine signatures. The others are maintaining their approach. They've seen too much to turn back now. Then they die, Administrator Nyen said as more weapon platforms emerged from the asteroid's surface. The sanctum will not allow itself to be claimed. Energy beams lanced out again. Ships vanished from tactical displays as ancient weapons reduced them to scattered atoms. The devastating demonstration of power sent more vessels fleeing toward jump points. Additional consortium vessels entering the system. Gavin Rourke highlighted new sensor contacts. They're broadcasting authentication codes. Archivist ships responding to the restriction alerts. Good. Valenthrex adjusted his transmission. Their presence validates my authority. Standard procedure demands they support enforcement of restricted zones. The sanctum's weapons fell silent as the lost military vessels retreated or died. Defense screens maintained full power, ready to destroy any new threats. Centuries of accumulated knowledge finally secured behind the very weapons they produced. The immediate crisis passes, Administrator Nien said while studying damage reports. But this incident changes everything. The Sanctum's existence can no longer remain completely hidden. Not hidden, Valen Threx said as he composed new consortium documentation. Protected. The consortium's authority combined with demonstrated defensive capability creates an effective deterrent. My reputation adds weight to the restriction. And when they realize humans still exist, Gavin Rourke asked from his tactical station, the consortium's authority won't stop every power in the galaxy. They won't find proof. Valen Threx indicated the consortium's protocols on his screen. Official records will show only an ancient automated facility of unknown origin. The archivist oath of secrecy protects all the restricted discoveries. My fellow consortium members will support the deception to maintain our authority. Your loyalty to the consortium appears quite flexible, Administrator Nien observed while defense systems powered down to standby levels. The consortium exists to preserve knowledge, Valen Threx said as he completed the official documentation. This sanctum represents the greatest discovery in our history. The consortium's procedures can protect it better than total secrecy. Tactical displays showed the lost hostile ships jumping to faster-than-light travel. Consortium vessels moved to establish patrol patterns around the sector's borders. The Sanctum's power signature returned to dormant levels. We still need those supplies, Gavin Rourke said after a moment. Our logistics situation hasn't changed. Now you have an official supplier. Valen Threx accessed his neural links trading protocols. The consortium's presence justifies regular shipments to a restricted facility. My authority masks the true purpose. A reasonable arrangement, Administrator Nien said while screens displayed the aftermath of battle, assuming you maintain your discretion. Knowledge must be preserved. Valen Threx watched consortium ships secure the sector's borders. But some secrets carry too high a price to share. The consortium understands this principle well. This is not the only place of hidden knowledge, even if it is the most powerful. The Sanctum's defensive screens returned to invisible barriers around the asteroid. Ancient weapons waited in silent readiness to defend knowledge too dangerous for the galaxy to possess. Their long-hidden compartments destined to house them again. The humans could maintain their hidden watch, now aided by the consortium's authority and procedures. Welcome to the Sanctum, Senior Archivist, Administrator Nien said as screens displayed consortium ships establishing defensive positions. It seems humanity's greatest secret has gained a new guardian. Valen Threx nodded as he finalized the sector restrictions. The most valuable discovery in history would remain safe, protected by human caution, consortium authority, and the technology of every galactic superpower that ever lived. Some knowledge carried too high a price to share, but the right custodians could preserve it for a wiser future. Behind them, the Sanctum's power signature faded to dormancy. Its secrets remained secure, waiting for the day when the galaxy might be ready to use them for their intended purpose, rather than malign intent. Until then, it would sleep. The price of human blood remained beyond measure, but now it guarded something even more precious, knowledge that could reshape civilization itself or destroy it completely. Behind them, the Archive's power signature faded to dormancy once more. The galaxy would see only a restricted zone, but within it, the last legacy of humanity endured, hidden, watching, and ready, guarded now, not by isolation, but by alliance, not by fear, but by chosen silence, because some knowledge isn't forgotten, it's protected.